The Sussexes are separating their brands. ALISON Boshoff reveals Meghan wants to escape Harry's victim narrative. For a couple who have so noisily prided themselves on their unbreakable togetherness, Prince Harry and Meghan have been frequently, confoundingly, separate of late. In the space of just over a week in which they made several high-profile public appearances, the pair have been together just the once, at a Beyoncé concert last Friday in Los Angeles. Meghan's mom Doria came along, too, and Harry veered between dancing enthusiastically and looking bored rigid. Other appearances for the couple, however, were very strictly on a solo basis. Take Meghan's second visit to Beyoncé on Monday, where she had her picture taken with actress Kerry Washington and Destiny's Child star Kelly Rowland. Washington was perhaps less impressed. Woundingly, she posted an image of herself with Rowland in which only Meghan's arm was visible. On Thursday, Harry was in London at the Child Awards, while tomorrow he's going it alone again in Dusseldorf, Germany, for the Invictus Games, his big relaunch as a philanthropist. Professional separation between the pair has become increasingly notable, too. Harry's Invictus charity, for example, which does remarkable work with injured servicemen and women, is hugely meaningful to him, but is very much his project, not his wife's. Meghan is due to join him in Dusseldorf later next week, but seems to have thought better of playing a formal role, and her name has dropped off the diary of events. Don't forget that she was missing in action for the media blitz for Harry's book Spare and, again, didn't make more than the most fleeting appearance in her husband's latest Netflix documentary, Heart of Invictus. And, notably, it is Meghan, and not Harry, who has signed up with superagent Ari Emanuel in a deal which will seemingly make her a global lifestyle influencer with a side order of philanthropy, more of which later. Of course, for more everyday couples, it's hardly unusual to work separately and socialize as individuals. But these two have utterly defined their post-royal existence as a publicly united pair, and thus sought to monetize their love story therein. Indeed, who can fail to remember the image of the two entwined palm trees, connected at the roots, in their Montecito garden, described so famously by Harry to Meghan as "My love, it's us." So what does all this recent separation signify? It is more about brand separation as opposed to personal separation. Some claim the couple's 5-year marriage is heading for the divorce courts, fueled by Meghan's habit of removing her engagement and eternity rings, as she did on Monday at the concert. One LA source, with a senior media position in Hollywood, tells me it's 100% over. That's what I hear, and I've been hearing it for months. Another says Netflix aren't likely to renew their deal in 2 years, for the simple reason they don't expect them to be a couple by that point. Others disagree that there is anything awry with their personal relationship. The findings of an investigation by the Mail into what the future holds for the Sussexes indicate something rather different, and gives a fascinating insight into their long-term intentions. Speaking to friends of Meghan, and by examining the couple's financial dealings, we can reveal the new buzz phrase for the Montecito II is brand separation. And to help the couple monetize this new ethos there is, we have discovered, a hitherto unreported Mr. Fix-It Moneyman, who is proving key to stabilizing the Sussexes' financial future, Adam Lilling, a venture capitalist, with a history of lucrative right-on investments, who is an advisor to TV host Ellen DeGeneres, a longtime friend of Meghan. Indeed, Lilling was with Harry, again without his wife, at a football match in LA over the weekend, where the men seemed at ease in each other's company. Nick Eade, a brand and culture expert, and friend of the Duchess dating from the period before she met Harry, casts light on what Lilling's presence reveals, and unpicks what brand separation means in practice. I've spoken to mutual friends, and it's not true they are divorcing, says Eade. What is actually happening is they are trying now to undo the damage they did with the Harry and Meghan documentary and Spare, which made them into a toxic couple. The first way to do that is to allow Meghan to get away from the victim narrative and away from Harry so people can see who she is. Meghan needs to forget about being a duchess and forget about good works. She has been isolated in Montecito and hiding away. But she is fun and funny, which is why we became friends. There wasn't anything fun in the documentary or in the Spotify podcasts. She will use Instagram to connect directly with fans around the world and to step out into who she is, which is not at all a victim. She is 100% a celebrity and will concentrate on that while Harry does whatever moves him. If they are wise, they will copy the Beckhams, where each half of the couple has their own thing and they do only a small amount together. She could easily earn $1 million. There is a lot of money which she will make very easily, as long as she does it away from him. Hence the new public separation. After all, the financial dividends from revealing their love story have been largely exhausted with their tell-all Netflix documentary. Now, hot on its heels, comes the solo rebrand. Perhaps it's this expectation of a social media-fueled payday for rebooted independent Meghan which explains U.S. reports the couple have toured a property lot for sale in Malibu, with a view to possibly buying it as a home base. It would be far closer to L.A., cutting their journey into town from 2 hours to 1, but with the land alone on sale for $8 million, £6.4 million, and the unbuilt house costing $10 million, £8 million, it's a stunning expression of financial confidence that the pair are even considering such a move. Their current home was bought with a $9.5 million mortgage, costing $40,000 a month. Add in $68,000 a year of property taxes, $300,000 on staff, and $3.3 million on security, and you'd have to be pretty relaxed about your finances to consider such an undertaking. But as I've discovered, it's the presence of Adam Lilling which has seemingly made the Duke and Duchess so expansive in their planning. Lilling, who has quietly been advising the couple for 3 years, owns venture capital company Plus Capital. After investing in the San Francisco-based coaching company BetterUp way back in 2016, Lilling was able to then help Harry to join them as Chief Impact Officer on a reported 7-figure salary in March 2021. Similarly, although never previously reported, he appears to be the man behind Meghan's sole investment to date, in the latte brand Clever Blends. She signed that deal in December 2020, fresh out of Megxit, and Clever Brands is represented by none other than Plus Capital. Both investments will be paying dividends as both brands saw an instant uptick when the couple got involved. Sources indicate Lilling works in concert with Andrew Meyer, Meghan's business manager, who has been with her since her days on the show Suits. But the Sussexes apparently first got to know Lilling via Ellen DeGeneres, who became firm friends with Meghan after the two met by chance at a dog shelter in 2012. Lilling made a killing for Ellen and her wife Portia de Rossi by recommending they invest in Beyond Meat, another ride-on company his organization advises. After they put money in, the stock promptly soared. Since then, the couple have invested in Pachama, a carbon credits company, again on Lilling's advice. Neither Lilling nor the Sussexes responded to requests to clarify their professional relationship. Clearly, Lilling is adept at linking cash to good works. His key client and friend, actor Matthew McConaughey, is even being spoken of as a potential next governor of Texas thanks to his new focus, and Lilling's guidance, on philanthropy. So might Lilling be planning to work a similar kind of magic on Harry? Indeed, it's interesting that Lilling was pictured looking so cozy with Harry, who's undoubtedly the half of the couple who will want to remain focused on philanthropy. While Harry earned huge money from Spare, at least $20 million, £16 million, multiple sources say he has no appetite to keep endlessly picking at the sores of his fractured family relationships and wants to fund his vision of himself, a global philanthropist. Meghan, meanwhile, say those close to the pair, wants to be true to herself and develop a new brand which is young, fun, powerful, optimistic and leads with love. With the discovery of Lilling's involvement, you have to wonder if Harry was referring to him when he told Oprah somebody else suggested he sign up with Netflix in 2020. We didn't have a plan. That, the streaming deal, was suggested by somebody else by the point of where my family literally cut me off financially, and I had to afford security for us, he said. That deal, of course, was a 5-year $100 million, £80 million contract, of which the jewel in the crown was the tell-all at-home documentary, with the Invictus documentary also commissioned early on. Fascinatingly, the Invictus Charities financial report, submitted in July, reveals the streaming giant didn't just pay Harry as a producer and participant of the 2 shows they've released with him, but also made a large contribution to Invictus's coffers. The charities report notes that, in the year ending December 2022, some £857,000 came from sponsorship and program rights income. In the previous year, £450,000 came through. Last year, the figure included the final 60% of the funds.